Hello students, welcome to All4 e-learning. Let us continue our chapter reflection of light. So the basic idea of reflection of light already we discussed earlier. Now again by the geometric way. So how we can understand the reflection of light and its corresponding angles. So here what exactly the definition of reflection of light? The phenomenon of bouncing of light from a surface when incident on it. The phenomenon of bouncing of light from a surface when it is incident on it, known as reflection. Simply, the light is bouncing back whenever it is incident on a surface and entering into the same medium. If you go for example, there is a plane mirror, or there is a smooth surface on which the light is incidenting and it is bouncing back into the same medium. This phenomena is known as reflection of light. Now, a ray of light is incidenting on the plane surface. This is incident ray. Undergoes reflection. It suffers reflection. And according to rectilinear propagation of light, the light must pass along a straight path. Instead of straight path, because of presence of this surface, it is taking a deviation from its original path because the medium was changed. Here, this is a reflecting surface. The surface itself is deviating the light whenever it is incident on it. Means the light is bouncing back. So here this is a reflector ray. This is original path which would move along the same path if the surface is absent. Right? Now in this is reflector ray, this is incident ray. I is angle of incidence, R is angle of reflection. I is angle of incidence, R is angle of reflection, and one more angle is given, glancing angle. A definition, basic definition, angle of incidence, the angle made by the incident ray with the normal drawn at the point of incidence. So keep in your mind whenever you are taking the angles, angle of incidence or angle of reflection and glancing angle. So for these angles in general, I and R, these two are taking with reference to normal. So normal is drawn at the point of incidence where the light is incidenting on the surface. On the surface you can take anywhere the normal. But that is not the question. The light is incidenting where the normal is drawn. So here the light is incidenting at this point, a normal is drawn to the surface. With reference to this normal, we are taking the angle of incidence, angle of reflection. Okay? The reference is normal. So angle of incidence is defining that the angle made by the incident ray with the normal is known as angle of incidence. Angle of reflection, or the angle made by the reflected ray with the normal. Angle made by the reflected ray with the normal is defined as angle of reflection. And third one is a glancing angle. The angle made by the incident ray or reflected ray with the surface defined as glancing angle. See here, this is incident ray, this is reflected ray. Incident ray is making angle with the surface is, this is glancing. And here also reflected ray making angle with the surface, that is also taken to be glancing angle. Glancing angle can be defined by using the incident or reflector. That is reference with the surface. Okay. Now these are the three angles: angle of incidence, angle of reflection, and the glancing angle. And go for another point. Suppose a student will get a doubt. Suppose if the surface is not straight, it is not plane. Sometimes the surface is uneven, under which the angle of incidence, angle of reflection, glancing can be represented or not? Is there any difficulty in representing these angles? No difficulty at all. We are taking the point where it is incidenting, even on the uneven surface. So it is uneven surface when the ray of light is incidenting at certain point. Now, at this point a normal is drawn. So here this is a reflected ray, and here this is the angle of incidence, this is the angle of reflection. There is no problem at all. Okay? Then go for another one. Laws of reflection. We go for laws of reflection. Laws. Number 1. The incident ray and the reflected ray and normal drawn at the point of incidence all lie in the same plane. What does it mean? Incident ray we imagine in the plane of the board. Reflected ray should also be limited to the plane of the board. Once the ray is limited to plane of the board of reflection, which should also be restricted to the same board plane, which never bouncing outside in three-dimensionally. So there is no chance at all when the light incidenting in the plane of the board after reflection, that should be limited to plane of the board. Therefore, these two are limited to plane of the board, and normal is also imagined at the point of incidence, that is also in the plane of the board. Therefore, these three lie in the same plane. This is first law. And go for second law. The angle of incidence should be equal to angle of reflection. That is, I is equal to R. This is a very, very important point which often used in solving the problems in further topics. I is equal to R. It's a very, very important relation. Now, this second law can be satisfied in the case of uneven surface. Yes, there is no doubt at all. Even it is a plane surface or somewhat uneven surface. So in case of reflection, angle of incidence and angle of reflection both will equal that followed by uneven surface also, where the light is undergoes reflection. Okay, then let us move on another point, deviation suffered by the light in this phenomena, right? Yeah, this is incident light, incident ray, this is a reflected ray, and this is a normal drawn. If the plane is not presented there according to rectilinear propagation of light, the light travel along the same path. It continues to move along the same path. Because of presence of the surface, the light is taking a deviation from its original path. Instead of traveling in this direction, the light is deviated. That deviated angle of deviation, that is, instead of this direction, it is deviated like this from here to here. Deviation suffered by the light, by the reflection. Yes, the deviation delta is equal to, we can find that in terms of glancing angle and also in terms of angle of incidence or angle of reflection. So first we go for the angle of deviation or deviation suffered by the light in terms of glancing angle. See, very simple formula. Here this is glancing angle, this is also glancing angle. Now this angle and this angle both are equal. Now the deviation suffered by the light from here to here delta, this delta is G and G together, G plus G, 2G. This is deviation suffered by the light, which is in terms of glancing angle. And go for another way to express the deviation suffered by the light in terms of angle of incidence. right? Now, the deviation can also be found by using angle of incidence. Delta is equal to, over this line, what is the total angle? 180 degree, that is say pi. 180 degree from which I plus r is subtracted, then pi minus I plus r. See here, this is total pi from which I plus r is subtracted. The remaining will be deviation suffered by the light. Therefore, delta is equal to, so pi minus I plus r. But from law of reflection, I is equal to r. Therefore, delta is equal to pi minus 2i. We can also write it as delta is equal to pi minus 2r. So this is the deviation suffered by the light in terms of glancing angle, and deviation suffered by the light in terms of angle of incidence and in terms of angle of reflection. And if you go for the graph, so what is the nature of graph drawn between deviation suffered by the light and angle of incidence? Delta I graph, right? See, angle of incidence is taking along x-axis and deviation along y-axis. So we consider deviation delta is equal to, can we write this pi minus 2i for our convenience, minus 2i plus pi, and it is similar to y is equal to minus mx plus c. It is giving a linear function, linear equation with a slope negative slope. Therefore, the nature of the graph is as shown in the diagram. Here, this point, at this point, if I is equal to 0, then result is deviation equal to minus 2 into 0 plus pi. You will get deviation suffered by the light is pi, 180 degree. So how we can understand this? Let us consider a plane surface. This is a normal drawn to it. Normal is the reference. Yeah. The light is incidenting on this plane along the normal. Now, angle of incidence is how much here? 0. Why? Because the angle of incidence and angle of reflection, these two are decided by taking the normal as reference. So, normal is taking as a reference. So, the incident ray is incidenting along the normal. Therefore, it is normal incidence, which is known as normal incidence. For normal incidence, angle of incidence I is equal to 0. So whenever it is incident normally, it bouncing back exactly, taking the tone of 180 degree, which is pi. This is known as retracing the light. We can also say the light is retraced. This is possible whenever the light incident normally on the surface. So it is bouncing exactly opposite in direction. As a result, the light is retracing. Therefore, it is turning by 180 degree. That is equal to pi radians. Okay. Go for another case. If I is equal to pi by 2. Say here, I is equal to pi by 2. Now, the deviation is delta is equal to minus 2 into pi by 2 plus pi. 2 gets cancelled. Minus pi plus pi. Delta deviation becomes 0. There is no deviation at all. No deviation means the light is not suffering any kind of deviation if angle of incidence is given that pi by 2. So in the diagram, how we can show it? This is plane surface. this is the reference line, normal is drawn. Now a ray of light is incidenting, which is known as grazing incidence. Means light is grazing the surface. With reference to normal, its angle of incidence I is equal to how much? Pi by 2. If it is pi by 2, there is no deviation taken by the light. The deviation becomes 0. So this is case 2. So in this way, we can understand how the deviation suffered by the light. Let us consider a plane mirror. A ray of light incidenting on it undergoes reflection. Say A, O, B. This is a reflected ray. A normal is drawn at the point of incidence. This is angle of incidence. This is angle of reflection. This is extended. If surface is not presented, it would move along this path. Now this is glancing angle. This is also glancing angle. Okay. Now the question is, whenever a ray of light is incident on a plane surface, which suffers reflection, the basic terms we are taken into account and shown in the diagram. If the plane mirror is turned by an angle theta, then reflected ray will also turn by such an angle. So how much angle by which the light is to be turned, reflected light, if the plane mirror or reflecting surface is turned by an angle theta? See here, let us find the first deviation suffered by the light in this case. Initial deviation suffered by the light, delta 1 is equal to 2g in terms of glancing angle, equation 1. Now, let us imagine the plane mirror is turned by an angle theta. See, this is plane mirror. Actual position, initial position of the mirror is here. This is say M dash. It is turned by an angle theta. Now, the reflected ray will definitely deflect from its original path. Instead of OB, it is giving OC. As the mirror is turned in anti-clockwise direction by an angle theta, the reflected ray will also turn in anti-clockwise direction. With how much angle? Let us find it. This is from B to C, means OB and OC. Between these two, this angle is how much deflection, how much angle turned by the reflected ray whenever the plane is turned by an angle theta. Now, let us find the final deviation. See, before going to final deviation, let us estimate the glancing angle, new glancing angle. Now, this is the plane, this is incident ray. Keep in our mind, even the mirror is turned by an angle theta, but the incident ray being unchanged, still it is incidenting along the same path OA. It is keeping as it is. Simply, mirror alone is turned by an angle theta in anti-clockwise. Corresponding reflected ray will also turn in anti-clockwise by how much angle? We don't know, we are going to find that one. Right? Now, the new glancing angle is G dash is equal to, new glancing angle is G plus theta. See here, this is surface. With the surface, angle made by the incident ray with the surface is glancing G plus theta. Now, the final deviation suffered by the light is, according to the condition rule, 2G dash. Now, substituting the value, delta 2 equal to G dash equal to G plus theta. Now, you will get delta 2 is equal to 2G plus 2 theta. Equation 2. What is the net deviation, net deflection from initial and final? So final deviation is there, initial deviation is there, net deflection is equal to final minus initial deviation. You will get 2 theta plus 2g plus 2 theta minus 2g gets cancelled. That is giving 2 theta deviation. So it's very clear. Whenever the reflecting surface is turned by an angle theta, the reflected ray will turn by 2 theta. Double. It is turning by double the angle that of the angle turned by the plane mirror. Right? The next, in similar way, if you consider the angular velocities, suppose if the plane mirror is turning with certain angular velocity, omega. So what will be the velocity, angular velocity with which the reflected ray will turn? Angular velocity of reflected ray will be 2 omega. If the plane surface is rotating with angular velocity omega, reflected ray will have the angular velocity double that of the mirror angular velocity, therefore omega dash equal to 2 omega. So it is a very, very important point. Keep in our mind while solving the problem, we should take this point into consideration and solve the problem. You will attain the proper answer. Right? Go for such kind of problem. Okay? Now, let us consider a plane mirror which is rotating with certain angular frequency. This is a plane mirror. It is rotating about a fixed axis with certain angular velocity, angular frequency. Of course, that angular frequency is given 9 by pi RPS rotations per second. This axis is at a fixed distance from the wall, vertical wall, that is say 10 meters from the wall. A ray of light incidenting on this plane mirror. Now after reflection, the spot, light spot fall on the wall. Now the question is, whenever this plane mirror is rotating about a fixed axis, which is at a distance 10 meters from the vertical wall, whenever angle of incidence is 37 degree, where find the speed of this part which is falling on vertical wall. Then what happens here? As the mirror is rotating, then the spot will also moving upward or downward depending upon its direction. If the mirror is rotating in clockwise, the spot will move down. Mirror rotate anti-clockwise, spot will move up. So we can also do this kind of experiment at a house when we use a plane mirror. As we are rotating this plane mirror, definitely the image of the spot which fall on the wall, that will also move up and down. We can see practically. It's a very simple. Okay. Then here also the mirror is rotating with certain speed. The spot after reflection it is falling on vertical wall, which can move up or down. With what speed it is moving upward or downward? Let us find that speed. Okay, speed of the spot. Right? What is this value? Now, let us find the angular velocity of the mirror. Angular velocity of the mirror. Actually, angular velocity of the mirror is given in rotations per second. But let us find the angular velocity, that radian per second, 2 pi n. That is 2 pi. N is equal to 9 by pi. Pi gets cancelled. This is 18 radian per second. This is angular velocity of the mirror. Angular velocity of the mirror. Yes, we can expect that. What is the angular velocity of reflected ray? This is reflected ray. Mirror angular velocity 18 radian per second. So angular velocity of reflected ray is how much? Just now we seen. So angular velocity of reflected ray omega dash equal to double that of angular velocity of the mirror. Therefore omega dash equal to 2, omega is 18, therefore it comes 36 radian per second. Yes. The next, this is fixed 10 meters. This is a variable. As the mirror is rotating, the spot will move up and down, or depending upon the rotation of the plane mirror. If it is in anti-clockwise, it is moving up. So y is variable. 10 is fixed. This is constant. So this is 37 degree. So here the question is asking at this particular instant, whenever the angle of incidence is 37 degree, where what is the speed of the spot on the wall? If the angle changes, corresponding speed of the spot on the wall also changes. So the speed is not constant, keep in our mind. The speed of the spot on the vertical wall is not a constant value. It is a variable depending upon the angle of incidence. As the angle of incidence changes, the spot speed also changes. Let us go for this triangle. Suppose this is 37, this is 5, which is equal to 53 degree. Yes. From this triangle, say this is O, P and Q from triangle OPQ. Tan phi is equal to y by 10. Y is equal to 10 tan phi. Differentiate this with respect to time. 10 is constant, keep it side. Tan phi. So here, whenever this angle of incidence, whenever the mirror is turning, so gradually this angle changes, corresponding phi will also change. Here the variables are 10 is fixed, y is variable, phi is variable. Therefore, we are taking the differentiation for y and phi, not for 10. It is fixed. Tan phi is equal to secant square phi into d phi by dt. Okay. Now apply the values. This is the speed of the spot. That equal to 10 secant square. Phi value is 53 degree here into d phi by dt. This angle d phi by dt is giving angular velocity. So this angular velocity is for reflected ray, because this phi angle is giving by the reflected ray. Its corresponding angular velocity will also be related to omega dash, related to reflected ray. That is here omega dash 10. This is, its value is 25 by 9 into 36 omega dash. So here omega dash is how much? 36. By simplifying, it is giving 1000 meter per second speed of the spot on vertical wall. Okay? Yeah. So let us move on another problem which is also related to this concept. Here there is a vertical wall. There is a semicircular path near this vertical wall. Its radius is given d. A source, light source is keeping at center of the circle, semicircular path. So here a particle is moving along this surface, along this curve on this semicircular path with a constant speed. With constant speed v. As it is moving with constant speed, definitely from this source the light rays are diverging in all possible directions. This light is falling on this particle, and due to this particle, its shadow is fall on the wall. The shadow will also move on the vertical wall as this particle is moving on the path, semicircular path. Now let us find the speed of the shadow which is moving over the vertical wall. It is also similar to just previous problem. So once again, There is a semicircular path. At its center a source is kept and its radius d, and here there is a vertical wall. A particle is moving along this semicircular path with constant speed v. So whenever it is moving over this path, then its shadow, because light is falling on it, its shadow will fall on the vertical wall. As it is moving with constant speed, what will be the speed of the shadow which is moving over the vertical wall? So let us imagine that particle somewhere here, particle P. Particle P. Now here this is angle phi, this is say y, this is d. In this case, as the particle is moving, so this phi angle changes, this y changes, but d remains constant. Again here tan phi is equal to, from this, y by d, and y is equal to d tan phi. Yes, differentiate this with respect to time. D secant square phi d phi by dt. Yes, this is giving speed of the spot. So v spot or the shadow, you can take it spot or shadow, that equal to d secant square phi into, this is omega. Omega for what? Omega, angular velocity of this particle. Therefore here d omega secant square phi, which leads to d omega, r omega is equal to put v, that is speed of the particle, secant square phi. This is the speed of the spot on vertical wall. Okay.